Hey guys, Diju22 here, and our next match is a big match here on SmackDown, which is brought to you by MuchGames.ca, and, well, this next match is a triple threat match, but it's not just any triple threat match. It is for the #1 contendership to the United States Championship, held by John Cena, and, well, I will say that first and foremost, you have the great Khali, who obviously is the big favorite here, and is the reigning television championship. For the time being, his championship is not on the line, purely because his two opponents are not in-game competitors. But be that as it may, he has a chance to go up against John Cena if he can defeat his two opponents. One is Matthew Cole of the Newfoundlanders, and the other is the returning SlimKirby. Yes, SlimKirby did come back, albeit he had to accept a much lower deal than what he had gotten at the time that he left. So, yeah, he had to settle for less money if he had any chance of coming back, which eventually he did, and as a result, he is back, and this is his first big match, and you could not get any bigger than this. I mean, you have a #1 contendership on the line, and one of your opponents is the great Khali. But stranger things have happened, so we'll find out what's going to happen next. Alright, we're off. And we begin with SlimKirby going right after the great Khali, but I don't think that's a wise idea, at least not by yourself, as the great Khali just need SlimKirby in the head, and Matthew Cole managed to take down the great Khali with a flying forearm a la Tito Santana. Well, not to be confused with Carlos Santana, but even so, it would be a wise idea for both SlimKirby and Matthew Cole to go after the great Khali, eliminate him from the competition. But that's easier said than done, if it can even be done. If it can be done, we'll find out if it will be. And a super hip toss onto SlimKirby. And a knee right to the head of SlimKirby. I mean, SlimKirby is about, 6'7", maybe 6'6". The great Khali is 7 feet tall. So in other words, he makes SlimKirby look like a midget. Which makes Matthew Cole an even smaller man. But Matthew Cole going right after the great Khali, and we'll find. I'm not sure if that's a wise idea, not alone though. And Matthew Cole ramming his head into the turnbuckle, but it proved to be an unwise idea. But they're doing the right thing. They're trying to go after the great Khali and trying to double team him, but even that's not working out, as the great Khali is just dominating this match, single-handedly, mind you. And, okay. Oh, wow, look at the stretch. I mean, he had him in a double chicken wing stretch, and then he just dropped him like he was nothing, because the great Khali is so damn big, and Michael, or not Michael, but rather his brother, Matthew, is just so small. In comparison to the great Khali, I mean, the great Khali could just destroy him right now if he wanted to, but I think he's just toying around with him. And Ooh, and a rib breaker onto Matthew Cole. And now the Great Khali is leaving. Oh yeah, I should also mention that there are no disqualifications, no countouts, and falls count anywhere. It's elimination style, so the last man standing will win this matchup and become the #1 contender for the United States Championship. So that's what's at stake in this match. And whatever the Great Khali was going to do, Matthew Cole stopped him before it could happen. And of course, SlimKirby is big and strong enough to take on the Great Khali, but even so, he's going to need some more help. Wait a minute. 1. No. Kick out by the Great Khali. I mean, he bulldogged him right into the concrete or whatever's exposed of it. And Matthew Cole going after the Great Khali and rammed into the post again and thrown into the ring is Matthew Cole. SlimKirby now goes after the Great Khali. And, oh, wait a minute. Uh-oh, he's got the Great Khali on the table. Now, wait a minute. What's going to happen here? And Matthew Cole missed. Big fail. Wait a minute. Oh, and a DDT right through the table, my God. Onto the Great Khali. And yet the Great Khali is... Whoa, I'm surprised I think the Great Khali was barely fazed by it. Although I think Matthew Cole took the worst of it. Because technically he was still on the table when everything came crashing down. And look at this. Just a backbreaker stretch, and he just... You know, I don't think Matthew's back is supposed to bend like that. He throws him back in the ring. And now he's choking out Matthew Cole. SlimKirby goes back on the attack. A belly-to-belly suplex onto the Great Khali. Now a pinfall cover. Ref. Yeah, I think the referee was out of position. And now Matthew Cole going after the Great Khali. Thrown back in the ring is Matthew Cole, and once again getting choked out by the Great Khali. And thrown back in the ring is SlimKirby by the Great Khali. And now all three men are back in the ring. And a cross-arm neck breaker onto the Great Khali. Is that it? 1. No. They're still going to have to do more to the Great Khali if they have any chance. Wait a minute. Shoulder tackle. Another one. Ducks a clothesline. And a back suplex bomb onto the Great Khali. Wait a minute. 1. No. Kick out by the Great Khali. Uh-oh, wait a minute. The Great Khali going for a surfboard stretch on the Matthew Cole. And the Great Khali, as big as he is, I mean, he's not a submission expert, but with his size, he can make anybody smaller than him tap out. And unfortunately, Matthew Cole could not survive. Now it's a one-on-one match between SlimKirby and the Great Khali. Now SlimKirby is going to have to do this by himself. We'll see if the Great Khali has been weakened just enough for SlimKirby to win, but I highly doubt it, but we'll see. We'll see. Oh, uh-oh. A two-handed choke slam onto SlimKirby. And that could do it, folks. I think it's over. 1. No. Kick out at 1 by SlimKirby. Then a knife edge chop onto the Great Khali. He can't give up, though. We'll see. We'll see if he gives up or not, but a belly-to-belly suplex onto SlimKirby. And now he just steps all over SlimKirby. Whip into the ropes. And a suplex with extra height, being that the Great Khali's a giant. 1, no. SlimKirby, I'll give SlimKirby a lot of credit. He's not giving up. Then a clothesline that sends the Great Khali over the top rope and onto the floor. And now both men are on the floor. I believe this is the second time that all competitors are on the floor, and then a headbutt right to the Great Khali. Picks up the Great Khali, and now what's he going to do here? Wait a minute. Curtain call. Curtain call. He calls that move the curtain call. Is that it? 1, no. That was a good move, but SlimKirby's going to have to do more than that to the Great Khali if he wants to win. And, well, then again, he was a giant, so what do you expect? Thrown into the barricade. The Great Khali has absorbed so much punishment in this match and has given it right back to SlimKirby and, for a time, Matthew Cole. Oh, wait a minute. SK Driver. SK Driver. 1, 2, 3, and it's over. That's SlimKirby's new finishing move. He calls that the SK Driver. And it was just enough to win the match. And that actually busted open the Great Khali. And the Great Khali is standing up, but I'll tell you one thing. It took a lot. It took a lot from not only SlimKirby, but also from Matthew Cole to take a lot of starch out of the Great Khali. Because the Great Khali is so damn big that when it came down to SlimKirby and the Great Khali, SlimKirby had to weather the storm just enough to deliver the SK Driver, and on the floor, no less. It's bad enough to have it done to you in the ring, but when it's done on the floor, it hurts like hell. I can only imagine the headaches that the Great Khali is going to have, and that's exactly what they're going to be. Great. But stay tuned for the main event. That'll be coming up right after this.